Namaste Angels is the weekly reading. We're getting started with the dice and my choice, which I think can have to do with something similar to this energy of the world in reverse, and certainly this next card that I didn't realize was here also, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which is like, although there could be like a lot going for you in your life, you still may feel stuck. And it's really important, especially in consideration of the Knight of Pentacles, that you focus on your work or your thing. You focus on adulting. So it's like whatever it is you want to accomplish, want to be successful at, that you have to put your focus into it and don't allow yourself to be distracted. The world can be similar. It can be like you have a lot going for you, but for whatever reason, you still feel stuck in some way, maybe stuck in the wrong job, stuck in the wrong relationship, perhaps even marriage, or feeling like you're married to something. If it's not a person, married to something and not unsure how to get divorced from it, how to break away from it, even though there's a lot of other things going on in your life that are really, really good. So it's like, this is a reminder that only you can do that. I'm sure it has other meanings too. I mean, it might be very literal too, like my choice in terms of, your will, your free will, you have options. It can mean a few things. Also, we have Dirty Movie, which can be about something going viral. And it was, oh goodness, yesterday before I recorded the reading, because I'm just recording it now, I had thought about something and I was like, oh, that might go viral this week. It was something having to do with being, like homophobic. I saw like something going viral about like homophobia or whatever. Of course, something else could go viral. Or Dirty Movie on a smaller scale can be, you FaceTiming with somebody, on some kind of video call, or exchanging pictures or videos with somebody else, or online dating or something like that too. We also have Spend Money. And no. Spend money can be like when we're afraid sometimes to spend money. We feel like we need to hold on to it. It can be a reminder that, we manifest. So there's no reason to hoard. In fact, hoarding can block your manifestation and prevent you from, we're supposed to have a mindset that as we spend it, it's replaced, because we're so in tune with the universe. So yeah, spend money. Don't be afraid to. We got 29, spiritual partnership. Maybe connections with soulmates. Still different kinds of soulmates, not necessarily romantic, but certainly that would be included. Also, forget it. Don't put too much energy into something. Let it go, especially if it's from the past. Also, I'm on top, prioritizing yourself. That one keeps coming up. And massage, which is a way to maybe prioritize yourself or work on your own, self-preservation and healing and maintenance. With the cards, we are starting with Sorrow. And what is this deck called? I haven't used it in so long. Universal Love Oracle. How could I forget? By Tony Carmine Salerno. This is like one of the first ones that I received, actually. So I just showed you we had the World and we had the Knight of Pentacles. This can refer to an actual person in your life, possibly direct earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes. It is about somebody who needs to, if they want to focus on whatever it is, whatever areas in your life in which you want to be successful this week, and you want to ensure that, focus on those areas. Remember, only you can, make your life happen. Only you can make things happen for you, or, other people may help, assist sometimes, but only you have it in your power to really, really do it. And the same thing is for the World. You could feel like, I'm just tired, I want to give up, but you are close to the finish line. Only you can make these things happen. And then we have the I picked up 2. Okay, maybe I was meant to pick up 2, because we have the 5 of Swords, and then we upright, and then we had the 5 of Cups behind it. Oh, excuse me. And then there's another 5 of Swords. And that's another one that's in reverse. And this 5 of Swords, interestingly enough, is atop the 4 of Swords. So it is kind of like a progression. But with this Five of Swords being here on atop the Five of Cups in reverse, I'm going to say there may be a conflict following the disappointment. So maybe somebody stands you up, lets you down, whatever, and there could be a conflict as a result of that, you know, like, where were you? Or, you know, how could you do this? Or whatever. Or you could be conflicted about your feelings about someone or something after a disappointment or letdown, or something doesn't go as you expected it to go. Let's get these shuffled. What else did I want to talk to you all about? I still see people, particularly males, the masculine, maybe combinations of those, all the above, whatever. I still see them like leaving situations, relationships, things that they are realizing has not been working for them for a long time, but they felt kind of like they didn't have a choice, or they were stuck in it for whatever reason, or they wanted to, or, you know, it's like, I gave my word, so I want to be committed to it. I want to be loyal to it, or to them, or whatever. And just finally acknowledging, like, even after giving your all, it is not working and you have to leave. So I still see that sort of thing happening. There could be a continuing of that in people's lives this week. And, you know, that could be leading them to walk a new path through a new gateway, go a different direction. I'm still also seeing like different, you know, like gurus of like various types, just falling. You know, people, maybe that could be what the going viral is about too, you know. Well, look, the Queen and the King of Cups. More of these, you know, like YouTube stars, TikTok stars, or, you know, other people that are supposed to be, who gives everyone else advice and all of that. More of them being exposed as frauds. I've been seeing on both of those platforms, YouTube and TikTok and stuff, like different spiritualists trying to explain why, you know, let's say they did two readings, you know, back to back, or a week apart, a day apart, whatever. They did two readings around the same time. Sometimes I'll do a weekly reading and a moon reading, for example. And you get to see themes repeating. You know, I don't have to memorize like a script or whatever. I do everything live. So you'll still see the same cards come out in both readings, and you'll see me saying similar things in both readings. People are being asked, these spiritualists are being asked, like, how come your, you know, the video you did yesterday, you know, with your premonitions didn't match your tarot reading, or your tarot reading didn't match your astrology, you know, reading, or whatever it is, you know. People are being busted, basically, exposed, or, you know, people are beginning to really discern, like, does this person know what they're talking about or not? Or is this person legit or not? Is this person the real deal or not? Because anybody can go into a library or a Barnes and Noble or whatever and get a book about spirituality, get a, you know, buy a pack of tarot cards or whatever. And everybody, I do believe at least, that everybody does have some psychic ability. But does everybody know how to draw upon it? Nope. So are some people pretending, and some people it comes to them naturally, like it's innate, like you were meant to do this? Yeah. Whoops. One more deck. Oh, two more decks, really, because there's two decks here. I also see communication this week for some who maybe aren't really expecting any because, you know, like they just feel like they've been waiting for it for so long. Like, obviously it's not coming. Like, let me give up. Like with the world, I feel like giving up. And now it's like finally coming. And maybe because that Knight of Pentacles is finally going to focus on adulting and what he's supposed to be doing. Maybe he's who's reaching out, you know, to somebody this week. It will be unexpected for you. Just because you just been so disappointed. And maybe that's what the confliction is about too. Like maybe you're conflicted, the call does come in, it's like, I don't understand. Like, I haven't heard from you. And now I don't know how to feel or what to say or if I can trust this or... So that's this week for somebody. Maybe because of... Oh, you know what? Maybe because of Mercury in Aries and or the new moon in Aries, with both of which... Is it the new moon in Aries already? What month is this? This is April? I think it's the new moon in Aries. Wow. It's just like clicking in my head now. Like, wow. Okay. So yeah, but both of those, wands are about action. Fire is about action. Mercury is the communication planet. Communication could be coming in. All of a sudden there's action. Again, that we weren't expecting maybe. All of a sudden it's lit. So for this deck, we now have overall energy here of very nice. The Nine of Cups, something you've been wishing for, hoping would happen, you know, praying for, intending, setting goals for, hoping to accomplish. And we do have that wish fulfillment or some sort of new beginning happening here with the Ace of Cups immediately behind the Nine of Cups. And it may have to do with relationships. See, as I was talking to you, I was just talking and shuffling, and there were cards showing up, you know, relative to what I was saying. We got the Lovers here. And again, we got Gateway, so potentially a new path. Lovers represents the planet Mercury, about which I was just talking also. And the sign of Gemini, which it rules. The card most directly representing us this week is the Sun in reverse, which can be about somebody, if it's related to love and relationship, it can be about somebody like a break being over. So when the Sun is upright, as it relates to love, the traditional tarot meaning is not necessarily so wonderful. It can be, maybe they want to take a break with you, but sometimes a person needs a break to themselves. They need space. And some breaks can be longer than others, right? But when it's in reverse, that break could be over. That could be one potential meaning. Also, surrounding energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a reversal of fortune in the surrounding energy, a change. There's a major change that comes in very quickly, suddenly, unexpectedly, from some sort of energy that's surrounding us. Maybe that person from whom we're expecting communication or wishing for communication. Work and finance. Got the Five of Pentacles also in reverse. If you're going to get the Five of Pentacles, with regard to work and finance, yeah, in reverse is best. Love and relationship, everything's fine. Although we might feel like things are, you know, horrible. Also, I feel like that everything is fine can mean like you can trust this person that you are not sure of because they're coming back, you know, for whom that applies. It's like you can, even if there was like betrayal, separation, some sort of loss, sadness, pain between you two, everything is fine now and you can trust what they're saying. Maybe that's why we saw the King and Queen of Cups opposite each other too before. Physical health. Three of Cups in reverse. A lot of reversals today. And spiritual health. The Page of Cups also in reverse. And our overall energy is the Lovers upright. Right, let me move these to this side. I think that'll be better in frame over here. Yeah. Okay. So now you can see what our overall energy is. Can you see the Three of Cups? You know this is the Three of Cups? Okay, I'm going to make a mess. Never mind. Let's get into it. So the Sun in reverse. No, the Lovers, our overall energy. Let's start with that. So, again, the Lovers is associated with the sign of Gemini. In Western astrology, represents the twins. I've learned more recently in Vedic astrology, represents a couple having sex. It's almost always something about partnerships, and very often those partnerships are romantic. It can also be about decisions for me, and when it is, it's about like a heart versus head decision. Some people say for them it's also about like male versus female, yin versus yang, and maybe imbalanced energies. But for me, that goes back to the decision thing, and like where you're feeling like your heart is telling you one thing, your head is telling you another. And in general, I always suggest, my advice is to follow the heart. Of course, people, don't have to do that. And you may be surprised by me saying that, with me being a Gemini myself and us being all about logic, and the planet Mercury being all about logic and being in our heads and overthinking. But I do think that the intended message from the guides when you receive the Lovers is to follow your heart, not your head. Not to say, well, it doesn't make logical sense, so I'm not going to do it. If your heart is telling you to do it, even if it sounds crazy or feels crazy, as long as it's not something, like that you feel is immoral or illegal or, can kill you, go for it. When it actually comes to love and relationship, it can mean that in the very near future, love, huge, soulmate, capital letters, twin flame, reciprocity is, either coming your way or taking like center stage in your life. And this can be because of a new relationship. Maybe it's associated with the Ace of Cups we just saw, with the Nine of Cups we just saw, with the other deck. Or maybe you are rekindling a relationship of the past, like with an ex or something. Either way, this should be really positive energy for you. Even if you don't end up in a relationship, this week, you should be surrounded by love, feel surrounded by love, feel comforted, feel fulfilled in the things that you're doing by the energy of this cup, this card, as it relates to specifically to the love and relationship placement. It can be that kind of energy where you bump into somebody and they say, "Hey, what's going on with you? What you look so happy," and you're like, "Really?" And like, yeah, you're glowing. It's just something that's coming from within is what the card draws on and shows up to represent. So moving on to the card that's going to most directly represent us this week, Major Arcana card 19, the Sun in reverse. So when the Sun shows up in reverse, it's one of those cards that whether it's upright or reverse, it's still a sign that we're likely to find ourselves just feeling good, feeling more free than usual. So as we discussed before, we're looking at some of the other cards, that those were about like feeling stuck recently, but like then with it turning upside down, like you're beginning to get over those feelings of being stuck and you're finally moving, everything is fine. So this card really shows up and fits right in with what I was saying before I pulled any cards or before I laid any cards, like with some of the stuff that I have been feeling that I said particularly men or males or the divine masculine, but of course this can apply to females or the divine feminine, whether the divine feminine is a female or not. It can apply to both of those too. I was just seeing and feeling, like in my visions and stuff, the males, that are not necessarily the divine masculine. I mean, they could be the divine feminine too. That's who I felt leaving these situations that were no longer working for them. But of course, it can be for females or the divine feminine as well. And with the Sun showing up in reverse, we just feel more free than maybe we had been in recent times and ready to finally do stuff. With the card being reversed, there can be less clarity to the freedom than when it's upright. And maybe that's why the Five of Swords shows up. So even though like the Five of Cups was in reverse, as in we're over the disappointment and we're finally going to, stop, wallowing in self-pity and claiming that we're stuck and claiming that we're disappointed, we're ready to do something. But the Five of Swords shows up to say, well, I'm still kind of conflicted. I'm still not really clear on maybe exactly what to do or where to do it or with whom to do it. but I do feel more able to do something should I choose to. And we may find we even have to work harder to possibly completely bring about our freedom. You know, there's some sort of major move we got to make or something, or some real effort we got to put into something to get it done. And maybe that's why the world, shows up in reverse saying, okay, I'm tired. I've been putting stuff in, and how much more do I have to put in? And it's saying just one more, like we're almost there. Even with all of that in mind, it's still like a really excellent and important time to, try new things, experience different things, maybe out of our usual routines and visiting places, out of our usual haunts, dealing with people, meeting new people that are not our normal type, all of those sorts of things. And the sun is also about just, self-expression and clarity. So again, with the reverse, maybe not as clear as with it upright, but still maybe some clarity coming in, that sense of freedom, that sense of happiness, and things turning out better in terms of even health issues and things. Even with it in reverse, I still feel that those health issues, ultimately the outcome is going to be good. So with it in reverse, maybe there is a delay to some news that we need, or to our test results coming out, or maybe there's still something we have to do before we're well. We got to do some sort of treatment, have some sort of surgery, go through some sort of process before we're actually well. But again, still the outcome will be well in terms of pregnancy, and maybe specifically to give birth to a son, a male. Maybe it was not maybe we won't have an easy labor this week, but we will give birth to a healthy baby as an outcome. Whether we have to have a C-section or the baby's breech, maybe the baby's upside down, in the wrong position, and we got to get it turned around or something. But the outcome is still going to be a healthy baby. So moving on to the surrounding energy, things are changing in the lives of those who surround us. So our closest, one-on-one relationships, our, close family, close friends, our spouse, our love interest, our mate, our co-workers, maybe something is changing and somehow we are impacted. So, maybe not directly, but at least like indirectly. And for some, it's going to be because of those breakups. For example, if your ex is leaving their relationship, right, there's a major change in their life, that they're, leaving a relationship, maybe even leaving a marriage, or, breaking away from a household or something that impacts you. Not your not your ex, your love interest. Well, maybe they're one and the same. They're leaving. That impacts you. That maybe it means something, a change for your relationship too, indirectly, because now they freed themselves from that situation. And now they can come into something new. Or in the case of a job, someone frees themselves from one of the positions. They transfer out to another position that leaves that seat open. You've been wanting that job where that seat is open, so now you can apply for that one. So you're impacted indirectly. In most cases, these changes are for the positive. They're required, they're necessary changes. They're really needed changes in order for things to move forward. Sometimes the change itself can be very difficult, maybe even traumatic, like when you're leaving a relationship, like when you're leaving a job. It can be like, oh my God. But again, it's for the positive. Maybe you're going on to a better relationship, or you're going on to be single, and that's better for you. Or you're going on to a better job. You're moving house, you're moving state, so you're going on to a better life, a new life, and whatever. So it's can be a hard change, a difficult change, maybe even a traumatic change, but still change for the better in most cases, even when the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. The other thing about the reversal is that it can also mean that the change is not as it's not as big, it's not as impactful as if it was the card was upright. It can be about a more subtle change, or maybe a change that's a little bit more drawn out. So even though the Wheel of Fortune is about fast moving energy and something that comes in quickly, it can be, okay, this thing came like for example, divorce, because I just feel there's a lot of that happening right now. So for example, divorce, the Wheel of Fortune, the huge change can be the I want a divorce. You know, the asking for it and the saying, okay, I want a divorce too, and deciding. That can be the huge change, but then it's more subtle because it takes time. So it's not like tomorrow we're going to be, you know, fully legally separated. We're done. It's going to take time for the divorce to play out. You know what I mean? So it can be like a more subtle or slower change overall, but there's still the initial boom, this huge change that comes in very quickly and or unexpectedly with the energy of the Wheel of Fortune. So moving on to work and finance, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And as I was saying, you know, in this placement especially, in reverse, it's much more better. You know, the Five of Pentacles is much better. This can be, again, moving beyond a place of feeling stuck. So it will be moving beyond a place of feeling stuck with regard to our work. Maybe suddenly we are satisfied with our work or with our place of employment or with our business. Maybe things have turned around for the better, because that can be what the Five of Pentacles means. Financially, things are on an uptick. So maybe things have turned around, and so now we're not feeling you know, like we're out of options or we're out of choices or something. Maybe, you know, a new opportunity has just come through for a new job or for a transfer or for promotion or something. And the period that was challenging, you know, that's like, you know, immediately behind us, it may have been like dire, bleak, you know, like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? But that doesn't mean, like, once this change occurs in our lives, and we see we have the Wheel of Fortune crossing this Five of Pentacles, once this change occurs in our lives that causes us to feel unstuck, or at least begin to feel unstuck, we could like suddenly find ourselves with new opportunities on the horizon. So this could definitely be for if you're looking for a job, you know, you've been looking for a job and it's been feeling bleak and dire and horrible, you finally found one. Or if you're wanting to make a move, some sort of transfer, some sort of change, that the time is right for you now. And again, this message aligns with the cards that we started out with. Five of Swords, Five of Cups in reverse. You know, so that there had been disappointment. There had been, I don't know what to do. I don't feel very optimistic. I feel very pessimistic. I feel like I have no option. I feel like I have no choices. My situation seems bleak. I'm conflicted about this. I don't know what to do. And, it's another five, too. I'm now realizing that myself. Five of Swords, Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Fives are about change also. So, yeah, it's all aligning with the message that, that we originally started with and that I started talking about before I even laid any cards, when I was saying that, again, that masculine energy that I was sensing, seeing, feeling was possibly leaving a job or something, or leaving some sort of work situation that wasn't working on, moving forward, or feeling like you can move forward in those situations now, feeling unstuck. In terms of finances specifically, not necessarily tied to your work. Again, you may have recently been worried about money and, just even if you're still worrying right now, you're still concerned right now, that is going to lift, or the card is an indication of that lifting, and, something comes through that allows you to just feel, again, freer, like you can breathe easier. So maybe some money comes in, a check you've been waiting for, again, the promotion, the job, your business begins to, move again, thrive again. And, you finally, just can begin to feel and trust and not feel conflicted about it, like throughout your being, that, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right financially. As long as you continue to just do your part and to not be too prideful or hesitant to ask for help or advice if you need it. And when I say ask for help or advice if you need it, yes, we can ask the people that surround us, our fellow human beings, or you can, I ask the angels and my ancestors, and I tend to specify that I'm speaking specifically to those of the light, because, not all angels are good and not all ancestors are good. But I ask those positive ones of the light that wish the best for me. I tell them to please, I not only allow them and give them permission to intercede in my life, I beg of you, please do intercede in my life. So if you're willing to open yourself up to that and to allow the universe to do good for you, and in your life, you can expect it to continue to come and flow. And those beings can be, the beings of whom or from whom you're asking for help and assistance and advice. It doesn't have to be human beings, or it can be deceased loved ones and things too. So with the everything is fine card, we know that it means everything is fine, even if again there had been some sort of betrayal and reason to not trust, that everything was fine and all of that. Yeah, it is. But I just figured I'd pull another card, and we got death in reverse. So everything is fine because you're finally willing to let go of something or someone, and maybe it's something is the betrayal itself, and move on from it. Or if you can move on, if you can let go of the betrayal and move on from it, everything will be fine. It's possible that an actual Scorpio, with the death card representing the sign of Scorpio, possible that an actual Scorpio is involved in this scenario here, and or that there was imbalance in the relationship, or in your life, or in the life of your partner, and there was an inability to focus on the relationship, or to allow time and space for the relationship or for the partner, whether that was you or the other person, and maybe somebody putting too much effort and energy into work, and into money and things like that, and not enough for the relationship, or they had to leave. They left you because they needed to work on themselves and in bettering their financial situation, so they weren't able to fit you into their life before, and so they cut you off, or they ghosted you, or you broke up or whatever, or there's been separation for a long time, and so that's where you feel the hurt and pain and betrayal is. Because they had to focus on money, but now if they're returning, I think you can trust it. Yeah, and maybe somebody that's returning from your past. I'm gonna stop. I think on this note, I'm gonna stop pulling cards from the back there, and some of these cards just fell away and revealed the Queen of Cups. So that may be another sign again of a Scorpio being involved in this situation. I'm making a mess now. But yeah, Six of Cups can be somebody from your past, and possibly even like specifically a soulmate relationship. Somebody with whom maybe even if you haven't in the past, you will now see eye to eye. The sixes are about equity and equality, and again the reciprocity, balance in the relationship. So there'll be a lot of give and take, and there'll be a feeling of balance and a feeling of equity. Not like you're doing more for them or you're putting more into it. They're not paying you any mind because they're focused on work. Now you both be focused on each other, and so you can trust. If you can find it in yourself to trust that and to let go of whatever you're holding on to. Use the death energy in reverse to let go of whatever you're holding on to. Then everything is fine. Everything will be fine. Everything is fine. Moving on to the Three of Cups in reverse for health, physical health. This card says that it's possible that you can make some important changes and improvements even to your health by just like taking a look at what your friends and family members are doing to support and improve their health. Maybe even ask around, like, what diet are you taking? What kind of tea are you drinking? Herbs are you using? What doctor are you seeing? What physical therapist? Or, what gym do you go to? What exercises are you doing to improve, whatever? Especially if you have the same situation, same problem, and maybe you can follow suit, and that's going to improve your health as well. For spirituality or spiritual health, the Page of Cups in reverse says that we could be really vulnerable to mixing up or confusing fantasy versus reality. And we may have trouble with discernment. Maybe that was why I was made to talk about the people that would be exposed, like the fake gurus and stuff. But this could, this definitely extends to spiritual practice, where we could be confused between reality and fantasy, or fake and real. We could possibly, or at least some of us could possibly benefit from, similar to the physical health card, Three of Cups, this Page of Cups also in reverse. We could benefit maybe from a discussion with like-minded spiritual people, maybe, others on our level of a similar vibration, or possibly, higher than ours. Definitely we don't want to go lower. If we feel confused, and this could have to do possibly with the lack of clarity that's surrounding us, maybe. If you feel confused, don't, be afraid, or again, too prideful to reach out to people or other beings from whom we can get some help. And let's pull some of these other cards now too. So joining the sun is the card most directly representing us. Isn't this funny? It's the moon also in reverse. There's no reversals in this deck, but this is the way I pulled it. So I wanted you to see sun reverse and moon reverse, both representing us this week. So that does talk about the confusion and the clarity into which we're coming. Some things that maybe we're in the dark about because of the moon and the new moon in Aries that occurs this week, that we, maybe some things will be shed. Some things will have some light shed on them, and there can still be some things that we're confused about. So maybe we don't come into complete clarity this week, but there is some clarity possibly brought on by the new moon in Aries specifically. Also, this card in this deck, Moon Tree, is about it's about like soulmate relationships and twin flame relationships. It's about the marriage and the relationship between heaven and earth, and man and woman, two spiritual beings coming together. Heaven and earth, moon tree. I never even looked at it like that, but yeah, here's the earth, here's the tree, and here's this, the heavens, this planet here, or the moon. Let me put it upright. So it can also be about something happening with a soulmate connection or relationship this week too. And maybe again the break is over for somebody's soulmate relationship, whether it's romantic or if it's a friend or whatever. Just maybe somebody you've been on it's been on a break from you, or you've been on a break from. You've been on a break from each other. You are reconnected perhaps this week. So surrounding energy, joining the Wheel of Fortune, we have more fire. So the Golden Memories is a card. I mean, look how fiery it is. Of course, the Wheel of Fortune represents fire. It represents the planet Jupiter, ruler of the sign of Sagittarius, which is indeed a fire sign. The Wheel of Fortune is also connected to the fixed signs of the zodiac, which includes Leo, which is ruled by the sun. So talk about fire, and it's here sitting next to the sun too. So I think that's interesting also. The other fixed signs would be Aquarius, Scorpio. So it's sitting here above the death and the Scorpio. Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. This card, Golden Memories, for me, it can definitely be tied into this Scorpio and this death, because it's about taking the positive, the golden memories, taking those things, the positive life lessons and things that we've learned from our experiences forward with us, but leaving the rest in the past to burn. Just let it go, so let it die, with the energy of death. Release it and only take the positive with you. It's saying the negative stuff is not serving you. And so leave it behind. Any negative, it's often tied to, from in my readings or the way that I pick up the energy, emotions rather than an actual relationship. Rather than saying, oh, the card's telling me to break up with my boyfriend or my girlfriend. No, it's let go of negative emotions regret, resentment, the inability to forgive, guilt, jealousy, envy, all those sorts of things. Moving on to the card that the Five of Pentacles, the card, the placement that represents our work and finance. And we have Mary showing up with blessings. So I like seeing that in that placement. Again, an uptick in your finances, and some money coming through. And again, a feeling throughout your being that I'm going to be okay. You know, they got me covered. I'm going to be okay. I'm protected. My finances are going to be fine. So Mary comes in to let us know that that is true. With love and relationship, we have the universal heart. I think the name kind of says it all, the heart, right? This, of course, is the author's image of what Jesus would look like. And the card itself is like a bunch of little white dots on them, and you can't really see them all unless you truly focus on the card. Then they all begin to appear like stars in the sky, and it's about us all being necessary and important. But I also think that this is, it can be looked at as a depiction of the divine masculine, of the ascended master himself, and just of love. Like Jesus is love, God is love, the universe is love, right? So I think it fell into the right placement, universal heart. And can definitely be about, again, somebody coming back, right? A resurrection of a relationship from your past. Six of Cups. Joining the placement for health, physical health. We have sacred union. That would make you feel better. That can improve your health, right? Your union comes together, and you just feel like you are harmoniously balanced with another being. That could definitely make you improve your health. But maybe this is also for some of us. Maybe we're already in a situation like that. Maybe that's the person to whom we're going for this advice on how we can improve our health, or maybe that's with whom we're sharing advice on how they can improve their health. Or again, maybe we're improving each other's health by coming together in a healthy and harmonious way in terms of our relationship. And lastly, for the spiritual, this card too, I just pulled it in reverse. Like the Page of Cups is in reverse, but upright. It is message from afar. And for me, that in itself is very spiritual, because it talks about, message from afar can mean a lot of things. Like sometimes I'll say, maybe it's like a long distance phone call. It's a person, somewhere far away. Maybe that's the people that you can connect with, friends that are also on a spiritual path. But then this is also possibly talking about you, looking to your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, higher beings, and that's from whom you're receiving messages. You're getting into tune, getting into alignment with the universe, and allowing it to speak to you, to help you with that discernment that and what's real and what's fake. Help you with that discernment. Help you with the confusing energies, with reality versus fantasy, and what's meant for you and what's not meant for you. Also, this can have to do with an actual person in your life. Page of Cups being a court card could definitely be connected to an actual person, and possibly a direct water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And that's what I have for you this week. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. If you would like to stick around, I'm going to go into what else is going on this week. Okay. People are probably not going to believe this. I still have not sent back this stupid laptop. I should be working on a different computer. I should not be having this laptop here. It should be with the manufacturer. It's been like 2 months already. That I was supposed to send it back. All right. What do we got going on here? Let's see. Christian calendar. I think there was nothing. Let me refresh my memory. That is correct. There was nothing on the Christian calendar for us to talk about this week. On the Hebrew calendar, April 2nd is the first day of the Hebrew month of Nisan for the year 5782. And for a little bit more about the Hebrew month of Nisan, I went to www.shabbat.org. Nisan is the first month on the Jewish calendar according to the Torah. It coincides with March, April on the civil calendar. The Torah calls it Kodesh Ha-Aviv, the month of spring, as it marks the beginning of the spring months. On the first day of Nisan, in the year 2448 from creation, which is the same thing as 1313 BCE, which is the year that Moses died, by the way. 2 weeks before the Exodus. Yeah, he didn't get to finish the Exodus. Isn't that something? We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, Moses that took all those people and walked with them all that time, he did not get to make it to the finish line. He passed away before they did. Anyway, 2 weeks before the Exodus, God showed Moses the crescent new moon. Oh, like we're about to see with the new moon in Aries. And that moon instructing him to regarding the settling of the Jewish calendar and the mitzvah of sanctifying the new month. Mitzvah means like celebration. Quote, this month shall be for you the head of months, the first of the months of the year. And we can, end quote, and we can find this in Exodus 12:2. This ushered in the first Jewish month and commenced the lunar calendar that Jews have been following ever since. It was the first mitzvah or commandment given to the newly born nation of Israel, even before the Exodus from Egypt. Yeah, that's all they have to say about that. So that is April 2nd on the Jewish calendar. Of course, April 1st on the regular Gregorian or civil calendar. We do have April Fool's Day in, at least in the United States. And I was thinking about it more in terms of the Fool, more in terms of freedom, Aquarius energy. I meant to mention that at the beginning of the reading, and I did not, but I think we did see it play out in terms of freedom, just feeling freer and things this week. That April 1st is also the same day as the new moon in Aries, but we'll get to that in a second. April 2nd, since I already skipped ahead, on the Islamic calendar, is the first day of Ramadan for the year 1443, or what I like to call 444. All right, so what is Ramadan about? Ramadan, also spelled Ramazan, it's actually spelled a few different ways, is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. So whereas it was the first month of the Jewish calendar, this month is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. And it's observed by Muslims worldwide as a month of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. Why? Because this is the month that Muslims believe Muhammad received the initial revelations of what became the Quran, which is the holy book for Muslims from God. Similar to how, Moses was said to have received word that he wrote down, or like the Mormons, I forget the guy's name, with the Mormon church, that he said he received words and he wrote them down and nobody else could see them. They were invisible to everybody else. He was the only person that could read, this Bible that he had written down. So each of these religions seems to have a person that was assigned, this job of taking the record, and they took it. So the month of Ramadan is said to be the one in which it was revealed, the Quran was revealed, which was guidance for the people, and guidance that we still follow, or that that Muslims still follow, the people still follow. It's really the same, like the commandments, really the same thing as a lot of the rules that are in the Quran. They all sort of follow like the golden rule too, like do unto others as you have them do unto you, like those sort of what should be common sense things, and are shared by at least by all the Abrahamic religions. So on the planetary calendar, March 27th at 3:44 a.m., we have Mercury, again, ruler of the signs of Gemini and Virgo, entering Aries, ruler of the signs of, ruled by Mars, which also rules Scorpio, I guess I should be saying. So Mercury entered Aries at 0 degrees. On the 28th, we have at 9:13 p.m. Neptune, ruler of the sign of Pisces, which is currently located in Pisces, along with Jupiter, Pisces' other ruler, will be sextile the true node, which as of like February is now Taurus for the next year. So Neptune will be at 23 degrees Pisces. The true node will be at 23 degrees Taurus. Then again, as I mentioned before, April 1st at 2:24 a.m. or 4:4, we'll experience the new moon in Aries at 11 degrees Aries. I will do a separate reading for that new moon. And then that's it for the week. So let me tell you a little bit more about what it means for Mercury to have entered Aries, or to be entering Aries on the 27th. And for that, I went to www.tarot.com. Mercury in Aries, direct, pioneering, and quick-witted. Mercury, the planet closest to the sun, represents communication and intellectual perception. Because Mercury is the planet of thinking and Aries is the sign of doing, words tend to flow without a second thought when these two sync up in the sky. This is also a time when we may express our ideas with more passion than usual. When Mercury's in Aries, we'll all get straight to the point. When mental Mercury is in assertive Aries, Aries waits for no one. So this transit is a time when our minds may grow a little or a lot more restless and impatient. We won't stand still or replay the tape in our minds over and over again. We'll want to charge ahead and to move on to the next thing. Mercury in Aries is also great for opening the lines of communication and giving us the encouragement that we need to say exactly what we think and feel. Since Aries is the sign of me, we'll have the confidence to speak our minds. However, our desire to say exactly what we're thinking could become a problem when cooperation, compromise, and sensitivity are required. Our thoughts and speech may become more courageous and innovative when Mercury's and Aries gets together. Flashes of insight make it easier for us to think of fresh solutions to problems that may have been hanging over our heads for too long. Don't second guess yourself. Your first thoughts are often your best ones during this transit. Catch this inspiration as fast as you can, because the Aries influence means these bursts of brilliance will disappear just as quickly as they appeared. It goes on to talk about what it means for Mercury retrograde to occur in Aries. And I think we may have that to look forward to in the future, but I will read that when it comes around. And so, again, that's what I have for you this week. The sun, the moon, and Chiron, the wounded healer, all located in Aries as of this week. So a lot of movement in those areas. Hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.